Yeah, we are officially live. You can go ahead and you see you eating that good stuff, but I want you to turn it around and see how many calories.
No. We're not gonna look at the ingredients.
I want you to look at the ingredients. Look how many calories that's in that. No, turn it up. Put it up. Put it up.
It's better than mine.
No. Put it up.
It says healthy snack.
Nah, hell no. Turn it around. Turn it around.
I think got potatoes, vegetable oil.
Nah, I want to see the calorie intake. How many what's the per size?
13 servings per container.
13 chips.
Amount per serving. Serving size 1 ounce, which is 9 chips. Who eats 9 chips?
How many calories is those 9 chips?
I bet it's 140 calories in 9 chips, man.
It'll take you 30 minutes of walking just to burn 140 calories off.
Hey, but how long playing video games though? You know, so I can play 4 hours of video games. I gotta burn something. My character be running all over.
And see, that's we had a conversation the other day. About that's another topic about gaining weight and losing weight and living life. And you know, people get talking about, you know, living life. I want a high quality life. I want to be able to eat whatever I want to eat. It's like, no, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
Hey, I'll start working out when we go to the tropics 1 month before, man.
You know what? Everybody mute yourself so I can get this thing started. I have feedback from one of y'all too. Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Won't say gang. We are back on the online cookout. We about to do some cooking it up. As you can see, some of our people on the panel are eating unhealthy. Just because the kettle chips doesn't make them good chips. So we're going to be talking about bringing traumatic experiences into new relationships. Right? I said that right? I said bringing traumatic experiences into new relationships. We do have to establish, and I want somebody in the chat. I see we getting a couple of people in here. As you come into the chat, make sure you like the video. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe. We do need to first define what trauma is. So if somebody in the chat, I know my wife is in the chat somewhere. If you can copy paste the definition of trauma into the chat so we can all be on one accord as far as what we think or what is defined trauma. All right, I'll wait for her to do that. As we are waiting for her to paste that into the group, let me introduce Collins, the relationship guru. He is to my right. At the bottom left, we have my sister Bo from Everything Frugal. Go make sure you go check that out, everythingfrugal.com. And we have my brother who takes on many faces. I don't know if you ever watched, what is that, the Game of Thrones? What's that girl, Ira? What's her name? Ira, the one of many faces? Ari, whatever her name is. I guess that's what my brother doing, because last week he's Bubba Deuce. Week before that he's Jay Samaj. Now he's back to Hamilton. We have no idea who he's going to be coming next. I think she put it in the thing. Okay, so trauma. So now we're on one accord. Deeply distressing or disturbing experience, a personal trauma like the death of a child. So what I'm going to do is, before we get into all the solutions of these things, let's go around the panel and ask, the question is, have you experienced somebody in your relationship bringing in trauma to your relationship, or have you been the person that has brought in past baggage into a new home? So let's go. Who wants to go first? Who wants to go first? Not everybody at once. Okay, Collins, go ahead. Let's go.
So I'll just start off with an experience that I had. I was on Tinder. It was like 4 or 5 years ago. And
hold on, pause that. You were on what?
Tinder.
You're on Tinder.
Yeah, on Tinder.
Tinder swiper. Let's go.
Yeah, it's basically the only way that I make myself available to people, because I really don't want to go out and do things like that. So they ain't gonna be able to catch me or see me or be able to be courted by me unless I actually, make myself halfway present, available. So that's what I chose. That was my compromise. So there was a girl who I linked up with. We matched, we started talking. And when I asked her, hey, what does she want, out of a relationship, she's like, well, I don't even know if I'm ready for a relationship. Or I was like, okay, um, well, what do you like, so what are you looking for then? I mean, I guess it's Tinder. I mean, are you looking for hookups? Like, oh, absolutely not. I was like, well, so you're not ready for a relationship and you don't want a hookup. Why are you on Tinder? Now she said, oh, well, I don't want to go back to my old boyfriend, who actually, sexually assaulted me. So I'm making myself available. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. So you've been sexually assaulted. Like, are you getting any counseling for that? Have you gone through, have you dealt with therapy for that? Oh yeah, well, I have a therapist, but I said, but did they recommend for you to be putting yourself out there with other people? And she was like, well, they said I should, move on from my ex. I'm like, yeah, but like how long ago did this happen? And she's like, oh, it was a couple months ago. I was like, so this is recent. And now when we're talking, we just happened to come up with a conversation of just, meeting, finding commonalities and things like that. She told me that, oh, she used to go scuba diving, but she ain't going no more because dolphins rape people. And I was like, wait, what? And she was like, but I love sharks. I was like, but sharks kill people. So she's so traumatized from her rape experience that she said she would. I asked her this question. I was like, wait, that doesn't really make sense. So like, if you're in the sea and you got an opportunity, one over here you have a dolphin that's about to rape you, and over here you got a shark that's about to eat you. Which one are you picking? She's like, I'll pick the shark. I'd rather get eaten by a shark. So I was like, you'd rather die than actually be raped by a dolphin. I'm like, I was like, I can't even continue this conversation. Like, you're obviously still too traumatized to even have an opportunity to be able to start a new relationship. And so I've had that experience like so many times in the quote unquote dating world or courting stages, where people are just projecting, like women, they're projecting their past issues onto me. And I've done a similar version myself, thinking women are stupid, women are emotional, women are mean, women are manipulative, whatever childhood trauma that I had. So I've done it as well. And I now know, that doesn't work, of course. And so I stopped doing that as the last, 13, 14 years. But that is something that I have definitely experienced. And it sucks because, there've been women that I was like, hey, I'm the dude that you want. Like, I'm that ideal guy. But because you're not making yourself available and you got all this past trauma, like you're worried about what I'm going to do with someone when I tell you everything from jump, what's going on. And so like so many women have lost an opportunity to be with me because they're projecting whatever hurt they had from their past relationships. And so, and I don't really have the space to like ask them, hey, do you want some assistance with that? Did you go into counseling for that? But in reality, they'll project all of their past, whether it's dudes ain't shit, men are horrible, men are dogs, whatever their stuff is. And and so Venetia says, I think everyone brings baggage from a previous relationship into a new relationship. Absolutely. It's just I would just say that the point where you start projecting it onto the other person, that's when you start ruining your current relationship. And that's where it's just like, if you're not healed, if you haven't gone through the healing process, if you don't know how to do that work for yourself to get past those things, please don't date. Like, don't even encourage, don't even like engage in any form of going out on a date, hanging out with somebody, whatever version of it, because it's just a waste of your time, their time, and you're probably going to put that hurt onto the next person, because that person might be willing to love you, might be open to caring for you, and you just sabotage it because you're afraid because of something that happened to you in your past.
So when would a person know?
All right, hold on. Before we start asking questions, let's make sure we get everybody to answer the question before we start changing directions. Bo, give me a summation of a time in your life that either you brought in some baggage into a new relationship, or somebody has brought in baggage into a new relationship with you, or has it even happened to you? Have you ever experienced it?
I think for me, most of my relationships I probably brought baggage just because I got married very young. Um, I eloped, got married really young. The person that I married and the person that I dated was two different people, so to speak. Um, he like did a 360 after we were married. So and he had alcohol abuse problems, which he felt he didn't have. So I think after I left that relationship, I was very standoff ish and very how can I say I have a lot of had a lot of blockage when it came to relationship. Not very very reluctant to let anybody in so far. Don't really trust things people say, because I had a what they call it, Mr. Jekyll, Dr. Hyde kind of situation. So I think my guard is always up because of that in every relationship that I am, and it takes a while, and you got to be probably a special person to kind of deal with me because of that. So for me, I think my past has a lot to do with relationships that I am in and now. Far as other people, yeah, I was dating someone that had issues with his ex-wife, not letting him see his kids and all that kind of stuff, and that was kind of like baggage in our relationship. And me, I don't like baby mama drama or ex-wife drama. So I was like, yeah, you need to sort that out. I'm out, kind of thing. So that would be my answer to your question.
All right.
All
Hamilton.
right. So I really don't have a lot of past relationships to bring trauma from a relationship. So I really can't answer this too well, but I would say just in general, trauma I have, I guess, trust. I don't trust people too much. That goes for just any kind of relationship, especially in a relationship though. That's about it. Trust, trust. I don't trust nobody.
Is that I would say that I personally haven't been in relationships where um, I would say a person's brought in past trauma outwardly, I guess outwardly into the relationship. Maybe they brought in some bad characteristics into a relationship, but I wouldn't say it's from past relationships in general. But I would say a lot of things that Bo, Ham, Collins, uh, that we can address is it necessarily a bad thing, right? Some of the things that we people bring into a relation. Now, obviously, we're talking about trauma, but as far as what Hamilton is saying is that he doesn't trust anyone in a relationship. Well, it's hard for him to trust people in a relationship, which is more so of a defensive mechanism. Does that actually help into a new relationship? Does past experience, past trauma, assist in making better decisions in your future mate?
I say yes to a degree. It depends on what the trauma is. Um, but yeah, if you were in a past relationship where somebody was very or something like that, and cut me off, and I think moving forward, you kind of see the signs. So if you introduce to someone that has the similar signs, it's gonna make you not you're gonna be aware of it, to a degree, to where oh no, I'm not trying to you showing the same thing as the person before when I was in this type of situation. I think you learn. I think that every situation that you're in, be a relationship, friendship, you learn you learn from people, and I think every situation is a learning experience. So I do think that you learn and you can grow. Some of us grow. Some of us, it's like running your head in a brick wall. You just keep doing the same thing over and over again. But I think depending on what the trauma is, because we are talking about trauma, you can grow from that, and it can make you a better person.
Mm-hmm.
To where you're a better to where, I'm saying, you're not, what am I trying to say? So it can help in a relationship because you're a better person than what you were before.
Okay.
So you're bringing something new to the, what I'm saying? You're bringing something better to the table than
Mm-hmm.
what you would be like the same way, what I'm saying? And that might be okay and it might not. But if you went through it, you become a better person. Now you have a different outlook on different situations. You if you had counseling and you've been through that, if your partner or whatever is going through something, you could probably use the tricks that you learned or hacks that you learned in counseling to help them with an issue. So I definitely think it can be a positive thing, depending on what it is and if you got help or not.
What say you, Hamilton? Then Collins.
What was the question?
Boy, I'm about to. You're muted.
Right. So
He's
I'll go
muted.
ahead and answer. I think the most poignant part that Bo just said right there, though, is that they got some kind of counseling afterwards. So yes, you can learn something, right? But you have to be, careful what you learn from a situation, because we can learn all kind of things from a lesson of trauma. One of the things that we can learn is, well, I can't trust anyone, no matter what, right? And so now when you go into your new situations, a good relationship requires trust, right? It requires that. That is literally a requirement. Otherwise, the person's always going to be on the chopping block, and then that's not a place of home. That can't have longevity, right? Or at least not happy longevity. You can't be happy in that scenario for a long time. So I think, yes, you can learn things, but sometimes we can learn negative things. So without what Bo was talking about, which is where they actually get some counseling, you deal with it, and you come out of that trauma, you learn a positive lesson about either what you're looking for in a relationship, how to deal with certain conflicts in a relationship. At that point, then you're taking that quote unquote negative thing and you're turning it into something positive for you. So like Bo said, like, hey, let's say you had substance abuse. Now, substance abuse isn't a positive thing, right? But what if this person, because you dealt with that, now you got another person that you're able to have a conversation with and talk to them, hey, I went through the same thing. And I learned that it didn't work for me, so maybe I can make a difference for you, or at least lead you into a place where you can get some kind of assistance, so you can don't have that thing ruining the relationship. But it's very dangerous. I'll say emotionally, it's very emotionally dangerous for us to hold on to our lessons that are fear based, because what will happen is you end up projecting it or even creating that in your future. Like you'll manifest that in your next relationship. And so when we're so avoiding or resisting something, like in Landmark, they say what you resist persists. And so if you resisting, like my baby daddy ain't shit, men ain't shit, well, then you're going to keep attracting ain't shit dudes.
Okay.
Or trifling women, or cantankerous women, or heartless women, or cheating women. Like you're going to keep on attracting that because you're like, that's what's in your forefront of your mind. I don't want. The universe don't hear don't want. It just hears want. Right?
Oh.
So whatever you're focusing on, you create that. So I think that's one of the things that you got to be wary, right? Because I know women who have they've learned from, let's say that they were raped. They've learned from that, never be intimate with any dude ever in the future. Right? Don't even open up yourself to being intimate. I was like, yeah, if that's what you want to have, that's great. You can totally have it. But if that's not what you authentically want, and you do want intimacy in your relationship, you're gonna have to deal with that. You're gonna have to deal with that trauma. You have to deal with that stuff, and then have to learn how to communicate what your worries are. You can ask.
Trust. Where you said trust, it stuck out to me. I don't think anybody should trust anybody. And what I mean by that is, you can ask somebody to do something, but don't put 100% weight that they're going to do it. Like, you don't know if they're going to do it. Yes, you can maybe trust, but when using with trust, we're like, oh, you didn't do this. I could get pissed off, right? Or you didn't do this, or you weren't supposed to do this because you trusted them. I say don't trust. Tell them to do it. If they don't do it, you already do it because you don't trust them.
I say on that, first of all, I want to read what Cassandra said.
Yeah.
I feel like Some people don't really heal correctly from their past trauma, and I feel like they expect their soul to help heal them,
Significant other.
their
Their
significant other to help heal them.
Yeah.
I would say that is, definitely the wrong thing to do. Don't ever expect your significant other to help heal you. You have to heal yourself. And I tell people all the time, one of the things that you have to learn is to learn to love yourself. Once you fall in love with yourself, once you completely love yourself, then it helps you be able to, one, heal, and two, be able to love other people the way they should be loved. Because you're actually modeling the behavior of loving yourself and how you want to be loved. And to get in what Hamilton was saying about trust, I feel the same way. And again, we can define this word, play semantics if we want, but I always say, like, I like to have faith that people will do the right thing.
Faith is a good word.
You have faith that when somebody comes to a stoplight, that they're going to stop and not go through it and hit your ass, right? So everybody has faith that everyone is supposed to do what they're supposed to do, or be in the roles that they're supposed to be in to some degree or another. Obviously, you can trust someone, and someone can betray your trust and not even knowing that they betrayed your trust. And that's probably because you didn't establish what trust is at the very beginning of your relationship, right? And again, when people make promises, and it's also based on how they grew up holding promises. Like, somebody can promise you something, but in their life, they're not good at keeping their word, nor do they think that not keeping their word is a big deal, right? Oh, well, I said, but this came up and this came up. Well, you're arguing. You should never have said it then. And they're like, well, I didn't try to. There's a movie called Amistad, and he talks about one of the scenes is the guy says, what is the word in your language for if you said you were going to do something, but you didn't do it, you couldn't do it? And the guy was like, there's no word
There's no word
in our
for that.
language that means lying, or you're not going to do
try.
What you're going to do. If you say it, you do it. But those are the things in relationship that you have to, I think, define at the very beginning of the relationship.
Yeah, I think the issue with, it's funny because, like, as human beings, we break our word to ourselves, right? We say we're going to do something and we break our word. Now, I think the most important thing in life to learn is, this is the most important lesson I think anybody can learn, is that you don't know what's right and you don't know what's wrong. But you can know what works and what doesn't work for you, right? Like, I would say, and that will give you a space that if somebody does break your trust, or break their word when you say you're going to do something, then you can come at it from a solution-oriented place where you can be like, okay, listen, this thing doesn't work. What do we got to do to make sure that what can we put in place for you to actually be, when you say you're going to do something, that you're going to do it, so that I can trust the words that are coming out of your mouth? Because if we want to have a great relationship, we want to be able to trust the words that are coming out of each other's mouth. And we can't do that if we breaking our word left and right. Right, or breaking our word about big things, because you say, like, hey, babe, can you make me a sandwich? Like, oh yeah, I'll make you a sandwich. And then they go off and they go to the bathroom, and then they forget, and then they go watch TV, right? And then that could be a broken word, but then you might not think it's a big deal, and that can set a pattern. So you don't address it, you don't talk about it, and then they feel like, even subconsciously, oh well, it's not a big deal if I break my word, right? And then they don't learn about the distinction between breaking your word and honoring your word and keeping your word. That's three different things. Right? Breaking your word is you say you're going to do something and you don't do it. Honoring your word is you say you're going to do something, you don't do it, but you acknowledge that you gave that word in the first place. That thing that we usually don't like to do. I said I was going to be here at 7:00 and I didn't come here at 7:00. What we usually do is we volunteer all these excuses, or the reasons why we broke our word, before we even acknowledge even the fact that we did break our word. And that's what the issue, that's what the main issue is. So Bo, you got something to say?
I was gonna say, for me, it makes me nauseous when people get in a relationship and y'all feel like y'all supposed to just trust somebody as soon as you get a relationship. Like, for me, I think trust needs to be earned. I think in relationship you should take steps. You know what I'm saying? And certain things in your relationship to be earned, not just given blindly. And it kind of triggers me because I cringe at the thought of people like, oh, I thought I could trust him. What made you think you could trust him? You knew him for 3 days, sweetheart. How did you think you could trust? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think, and it could be past trauma for me, and that's why I think that way. But I just think certain parts of your relationship needs to be earned. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you should just give so much or just trust somebody just for no reason, just because you want to be in a relationship and you like, I like him, and we're gonna start trusting today. Like, no, I think there should be steps and rules of, I trust you to pick me up at a certain time, or in the
Right,
beginning, if we're getting to know each other, I trust you to be at the restaurant because I'm not getting in the car with you because I don't know you and I ain't trying to get
right, right,
kidnapped.
right,
So,
right.
I trust you to be at the restaurant because we picked that way. Okay, you did that for times, and then okay, now I trust you. You can pick me up in front of my house, and then we move on from there. But I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah,
just
yeah.
gonna, trust you right off the bat. And me, we could be together for years, and I still won't trust you fully. Like Hammer said, I
I don't
won't.
I don't think I don't think anything is wrong with that. I think it becomes a problem, right? If you outwardly um consistently badger a person that you don't trust them, right? You if you say it all the, I don't trust you. That becomes a problem, right? Because you're vocalizing that I don't think that you would do what you're going to say you're going to do. And if you have to vocalize that in a relationship with someone, then 9 times out of 10 you probably need to either check yourself, because it could just be you and your insecurities, or you need to be out of that relationship because there's nothing that they can do that is going to relieve you of those insecurities. Anytime they go out somewhere, you're checking up on them. Well, I don't trust you. It can become a problem. So again, um, if you don't trust anybody, I think there's degrees to that thing, right?
Right.
There's a certain degrees. Like if you're just like a person like me, I'm very neutral as far as my trust with people. Like I don't, it's just like Hammer, like I don't trust nobody like that, right? But I don't mistrust people like that. I observe, I watch, I listen, and those that labor amongst you, and you know who to trust in this area and who not to trust in that area, and who, like I said before, have faith that people would that would do the right thing. V says, yeah, constant questioning, distrust manifest in ways. Let me put it up here on the board. Distrust manifests in ways that can frustrate a relationship. And I'm gonna let the panel take that. But I would say this: I think it happens. And you know how I am, like I said before, guys, about high school relationship, young relationships. I want to push it that people shouldn't even get into relationships that are like 28. Like any serious relationships. And that's one of the things I think that saved me is I didn't when I say date, what's up, Trashy? When I say date, I talk to a lot of girls. College, like in college, I would talk to a lot of girls. Like I would talk to them. We are talking. We are not together. There is no relationship here. There's no form of commitment. We are simply talking. That means I can talk to other girls and you can't talk to other guys. If you like it, you can stay. If you don't, you can keep it moving. Right? Hey, some
Wait,
girls would be like,
wait. Did you say they can't talk to other guys,
no, not when you're talking to me.
but you can talk to other girls?
That was a fact.
Horrible.
No, hold on, Collins. It's not horrible. You know why?
No, it's not horrible. It's not horrible.
Oh, the reason being is I established that at the very beginning.
It's not. It's not.
At the very beginning. And some
And
women
they took that offer, like they
no,
were okay with that.
listen to what I'm saying. I got it, but I ain't got it like that. You know what I'm saying? Some women be like, no, 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 and they'll be on their way. And some will be like, oh, yeah, yeah. And the reason why a lot more would stay is because some of them thought they can actually change my mind. They thought that they can change me from saying I don't want to be in a committed relationship. So they thought if they hung around long enough and do relationship type things that I was going to commit to them, and that wasn't going to happen. right?
They were
But
delusional.
the key thing is I
Okay.
told these girls at the
Up
very
front.
beginning
Yeah.
what it was. I did not want to be in a relationship. What is this that we have? We're talking. That means I'm going to talk to other people. Now, that don't mean I was going to talk to other people in front of you, because Collins, you remember that time I jumped up like 10 stairs when that girl came and saw me talk. Remember she was coming to the parking lot at L, and I jumped like 10 stairs straight up. I was gone. Collins turned around, I was gone. So I was going to blatantly disrespect, women. But I think those are things that you should establish in the beginning. And my point is, my point is this: the reason why I don't like young relationships, because they're still trying to figure out who they are. And in the process of you trying to figure out who you are, you're dating boys and he's dating girls. And what happens is you expect them to act like men and you expect her to act like a woman. And since you guys are growing and have no real idea of what a relationship is, you begin to treat each other bad. And then you take those bad adolescent relationships into actual grown relationships. So you're taking something that you did when you were 16 and 15 years old, and you're taking that into relationships when you're 25, 26, 27, 28, telling a grown man, I don't trust you, boys. You are like, well, your mistrust began when you was 15 years old, dating a 15-year-old.
Yeah. Also, I mean, different people, mature at different ages. I know 40-year-olds that are just as immature as a 15-year-old. And I know that when I was 19, I was more mature than a lot of people, that are grown 40, 50, 60 years old. I didn't see that. What did he say?
He said, but why didn't I commit? Because I didn't want to. I was a freshman in college.
Yeah. He didn't want to. I mean, he was young, didn't want to commit, and plus, I mean, didn't really have any time. A lot of people don't have the time or the capacity for a relationship. Like, everybody wants a relationship, but it's kind of like everybody wanted a car, right? But not everybody knows how to drive, right? And so if you don't have like the great lessons that are necessary for you to drive, that's the reason why we have so many accidents on the road today. They're needless and they're unnecessary, right? It's the same thing with relationships. A relationship is a skill. You don't just automatically wake up and you know how to have relationships, especially if the models that you have in your environment are not positive.
Right? Hold on. That goes exactly what boom.
So C-Rider says, then I guess the question should be, what has my parents' relationship taught me about relationships? Because it does impact how we view relationships as well. Absolutely. So someone could have an expectation. Let's say someone has a parent. Let's say the ideal situation. Their parents are married. They've been together for however long, and they grow up with that. They can expect then that the person whoever they get involved with are going to have those exact same values that had that relationship work. And that person that they may be attracted to or might not have those same values, that which might be the commitment over everything. Right? Commitment over convenience, commitment over fear, commitment over worry, commitment over whatever the scenario is. And that person might have had a family where they were like, "Hey, you just be free, do your thing," because I don't believe that you're gonna be able to do anything for me anyway. So they let them. They have transient relationships with different people in the parental figures, and so like these are conversations that you definitely want to have. In the very beginning, like have these hard questions. I would say about that trust thing, and Bo, what you said earlier was like, hey, well, you got to build the trust. What I think is very important, like you said, there should be rules and regulations or whatever. Though all those things get communicated. Don't have that inside yourself, right? And you have this person, because I used to do that. I'm like, oh, well, you got 3 times. I give them the 3-strike rule. Like, so you got 3 times to do something, and for me to tell you I don't like it. But I'm not telling the full thing. Like, if you do this another time, this relationship is over, right? I don't do that. I'll just hold it in. That's my criteria, but I'm not communicating that to them. And so I had so many women that would have shifted. I know they would have, because they shifted after we were not in a relationship anymore, right? And would have shifted and stopped doing those things had they known that was going to make them lose me. Like these are the negotiables, and from here on, these are the non-negotiables. Right. So if you do this thing over and over and over again, or this amount of times, and I didn't communicate. So that's why now I have a system where I will communicate what those non-negotiables are. And like, hey, this is what you got to do. Like, hey, the breaking of the word doesn't work for me. I know everybody breaks their word, but you're going to have to, I'm standing for a cleanup. And I will teach them how to clean up. It's not a sorry. It's a different thing. Y'all want to learn about how to clean up and the difference between that and an apology. That's a special thing on how to make relationships work. Y'all can hit me up for one-on-one consultations for that. I'm not dropping.
Bo, you were saying, go ahead. Bo, you were saying something?
Oh, is he finished? Are you finished, Colin?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
We got a question back to him, but I want to get to you for a second.
Go ahead, Bo.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say, adding on to it. So, one of the things that I learned due to my past trauma in relationship is I do what I call a 6 months checkup. So in 6 months, when we've been together, we sitting down. Is this working for you? It might not be working for me. What's going on with you? How do you feel about it? And that's what I do in relationships. And some people get annoyed, but I'm like, why are you always asking me? Because I just want to know. I don't want to assume that we're okay.
Yeah.
Because I feel okay, but you might not be okay. And I think that people should do that in relationship. You should have set time aside where you're asking your partner, how do you feel? What is working in our relationship? Whatever. People don't do that, but I think more people should do that because it gives you a time, because some people don't know what to say. It's hard for them to express their emotion. They can act, you know what I'm saying? Act angry, act upset or whatever. But when it comes to finding the words, it's hard to do that. So this way where you're respecting each other and you're like, do you have something to say? Is there something that I'm doing that you don't like, or something like that, and you can have time to communicate. My thing is because my problem is with assumption. That there's times there was one particular time I was in a relationship and my feelings was deep. I assumed it was one way and it wasn't. And when I found out, that was very devastating because you're acting a certain way. So this is because of his action, cause and effect. Because you act this way, the effect is I feel this way. But they told me that it wasn't the same. So after that, I was like, oh no, I ain't guessing nothing. Either I want to know, are you good or are you not good? What is this? Like Jamari said, we just talking. Okay, we just talking. Okay, cool. We just buddies. Okay, that's cool.
That's how I keep them. Keep all the women. Keep all the women that's not like girlfriend talkers. You're just talking. I'm gonna get to a couple questions. Collins' questions for you. Let's keep it within 30 seconds so I can get to the rest of these questions. Boom, bang.
Collins, what is one thing you learned about relationships from your parents' relationships? I said the one positive thing that I learned is if something isn't working, you should leave that relationship. And the reason that's positive is because not everybody is a match for everybody. And when you have certain things that are just like, when you see something that doesn't work, don't stay in the relationship just being miserable just because you're afraid of leaving that relationship or whatever. Even if we have kids, I learned that that's a valuable lesson I learned from my father. He still took care of me and he still paid attention to me and still spent time with me. But he didn't stay with my mom because my mom exhibited selfish behavior that he was just not. He didn't want to be around. So that's one thing that was good. Like to stand for what you believe in. And another thing is, regardless of your animosity that you might have for somebody or issue that you have, if you got a child, that's your responsibility. Y'all make that work. Y'all don't got to be friends. Y'all don't got to be cool, but you have a responsibility to be parents regardless of the situation. So I know that even if I hated the woman that I was with, I would always be a parent to my child simply because one, they didn't ask to be here. I that's my responsibility to have them. And regardless of me having issues with the mom, I know that I would still have to do whatever I got to do in order to make sure I'm in my child's life. So that's one thing. Commitment.
Drew, I have Andrew. I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about over there. So can you clarify yourself or bring your ass on the panel? I know he's scared he's gonna get that mute button again. And guess what? Guess what? I got the Lakers on for you today too. Just to let you know, got the Lakers on there for you. True, I think that's an ongoing problem. Hamilton's been quiet. Listen, I don't know why Hamilton's quiet because Hamilton has some traumatic.
Listen.
We're not gonna go there. We're not gonna go there.
I was waiting though because everybody was talking. But trust. I'm gonna go back to trust. Trust. It has to be battle tested with time. Like you ain't gonna trust a thief in your house. And you ain't gonna trust a hoe with a man. Just ain't gonna happen. Just ain't gonna happen. It has to be battle tested. You have to know the person to an extent. Like, okay, I can trust this person to do this. But still, trusting it. I like the one Jamar said faith. Faith is a better word. I know it's semantics, but the words are important. They have meanings for a reason, and we use those meanings to work together in society. So faith is a better word, to have faith in somebody when it comes to a relationship. Because listen, I don't know how I'm going to react tomorrow about something. I don't know how I'm going to react 5 years about something. I might be calm, cool, and collected, then mess up and be like Will Smith, smack somebody in the face. I don't know. I'm just saying, you don't know what you're going to do.
But see, and that's a thing. When you say, yeah, leave Will alone.
No, Will cool. But you just don't
know.
know.
Will Smith come on the show. I'm gonna text him later on today, see what he's doing. Anyway, even what you're talking about as far as being trust being battle tested, right? Even that, man, you can't fully go on that, because what happened 5 years ago and all the stuff that y'all been through, y'all did this and did that, and y'all went through these wars, and then one little battle come around, and next thing you know,
war's over.
You know, the war is over, and she's what's that movie? That movie that I can't stand. It got Richard Gere in it. Unfaithful. Where his chick was messing with that French dude and everything, and he ended up murdering that.
I saw that.
That made me just never trust women ever again. Go check that movie out. It's called Unfaithful. It's an old school movie, but oh my goodness. Will, this man said Will is a simp. First of all, Will is not a simp. Okay, you cut it out.
That's for a debate. That is for a debate.
But I listen. You know why? Y'all saying? Let me tell you one thing.
Yeah, he is.
Will Smith is like 6'2", 6'3", 6'4". He's somewhere around there. You, Dr. Farmer.
Simping for women, like simping how he simps for Jada. Not that he's like a beta male or something that he ain't gonna move to my. But
I keep listen.
He is that as well.
Listen, I keep telling people. Listen, I keep telling people this. Y'all gotta watch what some of these men that are broke and can't take care of their women are saying, right? Because any man that can't take his chick nowhere, like, oh, you simp because you taking your chick to Hawaii. What? Like what? You're supposed to simp. Listen to what I'm saying. So when they call him a simp, what are you referring to? That's that man.
Me personally, I'm referring to he had an actual laughter response to the thing. It was funny for him. Then his woman got upset, and then he's like,
Colin, stop. We're not.
Wait. Okay, Will has stated in interviews that sometimes his laughter is a defense mechanism.
It is a big time defense mechanism. If you watched him on the little Discovery Channel show when he's going off of volcanoes, he makes a lot of jokes and he laughs every time he's uneasy. But we're not going to go there because you guys are changing the subject, and since you're changing the subject, I am muting everybody gets muted. Let's check the questions. Hamilton's already muted. Drew, go somewhere because you don't want to try to change the subject. So we're going back to do you bring past trauma into your relationship? Now, some of you have said exactly, Chucko, discomfort, read this. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and post that in there what V did, and then we're gonna move on because we got a lot of haters named Andrew in the building. We do. Okay. Oh, we have a new person. Let's see. Casey. I ain't gonna mess the name up. Oops, I pressed the wrong thing. I didn't mean to showcase Drew. All right. I don't think he's a simp. Oh, we're going back to Will. But I do see that Will is a definition of how a woman can ruin a man's career. Okay, since we go in there, I'm gonna go there just a little bit. All right, we'll go to a little bit, and I'm gonna let Collins go to a little bit, let Hammer go to a little bit, and then we're gonna come back. It's not what I don't like is everyone is blaming Jada, right? The same way I'm not a huge biblical man, but it's the same way everybody blamed Eve. Listen, at the end of the day, Will is responsible for his own actions. He is responsible for his own actions. I don't care what type of look his wife gave to him. At the end of the day, he's responsible for his own actions. Collins, you got anything to say on that?
I completely concur. I don't think that anybody else outside of a person is responsible for what that individual does, no matter what the scenario is. It's a choice. I don't think that he is that Jada is responsible for him doing what he did. I think he is responsible for the fact that he made the choice to go up there and and slap somebody and for the words that were said. And I don't think that somebody shouldn't be slapped. Let's make that clear. Somebody shouldn't be slapped or physically assaulted for certain words. I don't think that that's a overall scenario that I would look at, because I've whooped some people's asses myself for the words that they said. However, I will say this, that regardless of the laugh and the chuckle and the discomfort and things like that, and his delayed reaction and stuff like that, I just think that that kind of response in that situation is just a foolish one. It's a foolish one because you've got millions of dollars that you're putting on the line, your good life, your good, scenarios that you got, and you're putting that on the line for a joke in a scenario where probably if somebody else had made that same joke, you would not. You exposing yourself, bro. Like you probably would not have done that.
All right. You're going too far. You're muted. You're going way too far. Drink whatever you're drinking. Go ahead, Bo. Keep it under 10 seconds. You good, Bo? You good? Ham, you good? What you got to say?
Okay,
go ahead.
So what I'm gonna say is that I agree with you, Jamari, that it was his decision, but I also agree with Andrew. I don't think this was just a Jada thing. I think it was a lot of things personally. His family been talked about a lot. His kids, people disrespect left and right. He never publicly says anything. He lets it go out, and I think it was just a lot of things. And I think Rock just said the wrong thing at the wrong time. And he got,
and you know what? And I'm gonna bring it back to our main topic, which is talking about past trauma. So past trauma had him bring some stuff into the award ceremony that day. Okay. Past trauma wasn't Jada, past trauma. And it's people like
because he had said
down here that is talking about a man, right? And then think that he's going to be able to withstand that for so long. Okay.
And that goes back to my original.
Go ahead.
This is why you cannot trust nobody. You never know how somebody's going to react at any given moment.
It's a fact.
Maybe cool one minute, and then something you just snap the next minute. You don't know. So, and what Venetia said earlier, it could cause distrust within a relationship if you are constantly doing the badgering or showing signs of mistrust. I'm not saying to distrust like somebody and keep badgering them. I can't draw, or every time they go somewhere, you got to keep an eye on them. You're looking on the map, seeing where they're going. Like, nah, I'm saying just understand you don't trust them. And it could be in ways, but just let it be. Let it be. You can go on with life. If they over the years, like I said, battle test. If you decide that it's been this long and this person like this, okay, fine. Then trust. Then okay.
I'm about to have a Hamilton moment.
Oh, no, wait.
I'm about to go ahead, Bo.
Let me say what I say before you blow this up, because you about to blow.
You froze out. You see, the world wanted me to have a Hamilton moment. The universe wants this Hamilton moment.
And she still froze. Go ahead.
You froze. I'm gonna go ahead.
The first thing they tell you is that you need to, y'all need to trust each other.
Bo, you fragged out.
Trust.
We're gonna give you a moment. We're gonna give you a moment.
You need to start calling Bo static, man, because she always fragging.
Static shock, bro. I'm gonna call it a static shock because she up here. All right, so I'm gonna say this, man. I'm just gonna have my Hamilton moment, guys. You can take it as a joke, you can take it seriously or not. But I'm gonna say this for all the men in the chat. All right, you can never trust a woman, ever. A woman is so good at lying that you will never, ever know. You will never know that Junior is not yours, okay? She will take that crap to the freaking grave. She won't make a mistake. A smart woman would never, she would do that shit in stride, and you will never, ever know. And that's why you just operate with no trust. Just being different. Just like if she did it, okay, she probably did it. In your mind, you have to assume that she did it and just be okay with it and move forward. Look, she's saying dead. You know why she's saying dead?
Oh no,
Because
bro,
she did.
Oh man. All right, Bomega.
It cut
All
me
right.
off. Hey,
I'm not.
Jamar really went somewhere. He gonna get canceled now. We ain't
No,
got no
I'm
show.
just saying, everybody knows this to be true. Everybody knows this to be true. Men mess up. Women are perfect at this thing. They are the best. They are the best, man. Come
at
on,
what?
man.
We're the best at what?
I'm not gonna say it, and you're not gonna cancel me before I get started.
No,
Lying
what did you
and
say?
deceiving.
You're the best at what? Man, women
Lying
are the
and
best at
Hold on,
what?
let me get to. Can I get to the questions, please? Mute. Everybody's muted. Mute yourself while I get to the questions. Do not question. Okay, I said you could take it as a joke. You could take it seriously. All right, let me
I
get
didn't
to
hear
the
what you
question.
said, love. I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, Bo, 'cause
Okay,
you
so okay,
flagged
check
out.
out. Rewind
you
it.
flagged
Rewind it later.
All right. I mean, everyone deserves a basic level of trust and how they move afterwards, either builds or breaks it. You're definitely right. That basic level of trust, like we said earlier, like, and I like to use the word faith. Like, I have faith that you're going to do the right thing, but I also know that you're a human being, and human beings mess up intentionally and unintentionally, right? So I'm
Trust.
prepared. I want to prepare for both.
That's why it's still a
Nice.
basic level of trust. No, faith. Yes, trust. No, I'm still sticking with the trust. No basic level.
Hold on.
Yeah,
I done
trust
messed
needs to be
somebody
earned.
up.
You
What?
got to earn trust with me. I'm not giving
Men
you.
you see what I started, Collins? What? Men are liars. Yeah, everybody. Delicia, I hope I'm not messing your name up. Yes, everybody lies. Men are liars. Men lie too. Okay.
But why
I'm
do
not,
we
horrible
lie?
liars.
what I'm saying is we'll get
Horrible.
caught. We'll get caught. And I'm not going to go to my next thing. I was gonna change
Man lie though for a reason. Y'all don't want to hear the truth
bold
of what
statement.
man got to say.
IB.
So
Oh no,
of
you
course,
did not.
man gonna lie.
Bold
Like
statement.
No, you did not.
it's only
I'm gonna
certain
change
man that's gonna tell the
certain
truth.
things.
Like you got like Colin
Whoa,
said.
man, I'm telling you, man. Women are they are the best. If
No,
they want to get away with it,
it's
they will get
men
away
that
with
don't want to hear the truth most of the time.
it. This is
Can we what did Cash Boy say?
we're here right here.
He said bold statement. I agree in a sense to certain things. I think it was one right after that.
No, that's it. I put
that's it?
standing
Okay.
artists, if you will. Trust is necessary, though just needs to be a boundary. Claim your life is going to be difficult for you. First of all, let me explain something to you. My life will not be difficult for me. Everybody knows my relationship. My relationship will not be difficult for me, sir. I can say whatever I want to say, and everything will be fine and dandy. Just because you at the crib.
No.
Oh, did you see what your wife put?
First of all, let me explain something again, Drew. See, you're going back to some 1930 type of stuff. I bought the bed and the couch. I have never sleep on a couch if somebody tells me to sleep on a couch because I bought the bed. If if you mad, you sleep on the couch. Next question.
Jamar sleep on the couch all the time.
You gotta level up to a king, homeboy. Level up to a king, homeboy.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, come on. How
Hey,
do you deal with that?
Kings
King
have
can't sleep on the couch.
All right, let's get back on subject. So we're gonna go back to Collins. Collins, how can you build without trusting someone? Now, Collins didn't say he didn't trust, but let's answer that question for me, Collins.
All right. If you are in a conversation with someone about what you say you're going to do, right? And you talk to them and say, hey, listen, I want to be able to believe that the words that are coming out of your mouth are the actions that will follow afterwards. So what that looks like for me is if you say you're going to be here at 7:00, then you be here at 7:00. And if for whatever reason you can't be here at 7:00, with the moment that you know that you can't be here at 7:00, you communicate with me and let me know. I would like your commitment for that. And then you ask them, does that work for you? You don't get to tell them exactly what kind of commitment y'all going to have. You ask them at the end of everything that you create, does that work for you? Because it doesn't, then it gives them an opportunity to communicate why it doesn't work. Actually, well, I'll give you a counter offer. That's a healthy way to deal with the building your relationship with someone, even if you don't have that automatic trust that's out there, right? And you can let them know, like, listen, if you do the things that you say you're going to do, then this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be open with you. I'm going to communicate with you. I'm going to be, connective with you or whatever, right? So has to be more than punctuality. Yes, but what I'm saying is something as simple as I mean, like what people don't understand is when word is word. It doesn't matter what you break your word about. If you break your word about something, that person is not going to believe your word about other things. It's not going to be, oh, I just don't believe them when it comes to ice cream. Like they eat all the ice cream. No, that person is like, no, they lied about ice cream. What else are they going to lie about? The smaller thing might even be worse for the relationship. Like, what? Why are you lying about ice cream? That's like not anything important to lie about. So then what else are you lying about? Some big stuff that you could lose me over, right? So yes, it doesn't have to, but what I'm giving an example of like if you say you're gonna do something as simple as the punctuality. You say you're gonna pick me up at 5 o'clock, like Bo said, right? Because that difference in punctuality can be, can I trust you to be standing out here outside my job in the middle of the night? Can I call you?
Let me piggyback off that.
Or will I be out here for Ted Bundy to come through and give me a ride and try and kill me? You know,
because if you're not punctual, it's the easiest thing for someone to say is like, man, if you can't even pick me up, or if you can't even pick me up on time, the time that you said you're gonna pick me up, how can I trust you to do anything else? You know what I mean? Like you can't even do these simple things. Why would I give you something bigger? And I'm gonna nail this point home as well. Back when I was in high school, I tell people all the time, my junior, senior year, I didn't have a curfew. And the reason why I didn't have a curfew, because I had that level of trust with my pops. Why? Because when it first started, he would say, hey, be home by 8. And so around 7 o'clock, if I was at a party or something, I'll call him and say, hey, Pops, can I stay a little longer? He said, where are you at? I tell him exactly where I am. Obviously, this is before everyone had cell phones and things like that. So I'll call him at 7 o'clock. He said, okay, cool. You can stay out till 9. Then I'll come home at 9, go out again. He'll tell me, hey, be home by 9:30. If I want to stay out longer, I'll call him at 9 o'clock, tell him my pops exactly where I was. This is where I am. I'm at this party down the street at Fox Lake, boom, 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 boom. It got to the point where he trusted that I was going to do the right thing when I'm going out, because I built that relationship with him, because he knew I wasn't going to go out there and do anything stupid, you know? And that's how you slowly build that trust with people, by doing, like I used to tell my wife, like, if you tell him you go to Publix, right? 2 hours pass by, and then when I call you, so I'm at Walmart. When did you get to Walmart?
Yeah,
you know, it's like some women would be like, "Well, I don't gotta tell you where I'm going." You got to understand some things. Like if you were to get in an accident, I'm thinking, "What the hell she's doing over there when she was over there?" Or I wouldn't even know what happened to you, right?
You can't send like police to go like look for the person that might have
and Collins, and I say that to say I modeled that behavior. Because anytime I would go somewhere, I would call and let her know. I did it today. Like I'm going from the gym, I text her, oh, I'm at Central Park. She doesn't ask me. She doesn't demand that I do that. It's just to let her know where I am, right? So if things happen to me, you know where I am.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, you running, you pass out?
Yeah, I'm no longer at the place that I told you I was at. Now I'm over here. Okay.
Yeah.
What was that original question again? Build.
How do you build? Yeah, if you don't trust a person, how could you build a relationship?
How do you build without trusting? I would say.
Oh, look at him! Look at him!
No.
Oh wow, that's your name.
Wow.
Wow.
You're so dirty. You're dirty, man.
Oh man.
Muting Jamari Clarrington. Okay.
You know, just for that, you're muted. Just for that, you're muted.
That man came in with the auto mute.
And I'm removed. Change your name when you not come back in the stream. What you think this is? You had to. All right. Okay.
I would say you can build that relationship as long as their trust allows. So let's put it like this. So you're at your job and you got to be there from 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
You're not there from 9. You know, they're going to give you some chances. Just like in a relationship, you get some chances. You talk about it. You know, you get it written up. You weren't here at 9. This is what the contract says. This is what you said you can do. So I'm going to give you some more chances, and then I'm going to cut you off.
Yeah.
You're untrustworthy. So not that you're hurting my feelings with that, but you said you're going to do this, and you're not. So you got to go.
Man called himself Muting Andrew. Wow.
No, I changed his name. I got
you changed his name?
The power. All right. I'm gonna go back to what Delicia said, Miss Barnes. Okay. I guess it's something I said earlier. Okay, but men will have you thinking. Those are stupid men. Like those men that lie to a woman up front and hide their past. Those are suckers.
Well, I would say that when women can't be, I mean, you don't want the truth. That's what I would say to Alicia. You don't want
Yeah.
the truth.
And
Anyway.
now, would he be able to pull that same girl if he told her that?
That he had a wife?
Probably not.
Probably
not.
But if he got
probably not. It depends.
Listen.
He could.
He could. He definitely could.
Straight up. Hey,
He
this is
just
what it
doesn't believe
is,
it.
and gives it an opportunity. The higher likelihood. But here's the thing: the higher likelihood is that she's probably going to say, "Okay, cool. Well, you do you, and I'm not with that." But somebody's going to be down with that, and so you'll have better relationships happening. For like person to person, you don't have a person lying to this person and lying to this person, lying to this person. Now you got 3 damaged people who have been lied to about what the relationships are, and then so now you multiply that to these 3 people do the same thing. They put it out, and nobody get. That's why we got a whole slew of people that's just trash. Like
this
trash.
is a good a good comment right here. What about dating someone with relationship PTSD? I'm gonna keep it short and simple.
Hey,
everybody has that.
They need to get help. They need to get help. They need to get help.
But to a certain degree, I think we all have that. If you've been in a past relationship that has failed at some point, the reality of it is that some of us take the time to actually heal, and some of us don't. And the problems that we're seeing is with individuals who play hopscotch from relationship to relationship, and they're not only are they, you know that cliche statement, hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're basically, they're like a petri dish that's cultivating all of this pain and hurt, and they go from person to person, and because they never dealt with the past problem, you know, it's a cumulative effect, and in fact they become efficient at actually fucking other people's lives up. I'm sorry. They do.
Absolutely.
What Venetia said?
Huh?
Sorry.
Oh yeah, so it's crazy, man. I think one of the things, going back to, you talk about trust, etc. People aren't honest with themselves, and I think this is where these issues come from. If you're not honest with yourself, you can't expect to be honest in a relationship. And
that's what I said.
Some people lie, right? And as a protective mechanism, they reveal certain parts of themselves and withhold other parts. And then when that part comes out that they were trying to hide, or that story about them having kids, or whatever the case may be, you know, the other person's like, well, wow, you didn't tell me this.
Yeah.
I'm being distracted right now, man. Sorry. Let me focus. My name got changed to some trash. Anyway, so these people.
Hey, that's not trash.
Okay.
#1 franchise, baby. #1.
All right, bro.
I'm gonna address you later. These individuals, though, because they can't tell the truth to themselves, they become a rolling stone of problems. You get what I'm saying? So if you can't be honest, and this is where we have a lot of our issues, and even with the guys that lie to chicks about the kids and stuff, it ain't nothing new, you know. But you have to ask yourself, if you can't be true to yourself, can you be true to somebody else? And a lot of us, we lack that self introspection. I mean, there's a time where, you know, you may think that you're perfect or things may be going great in your life, and you're not, you know. But it's, do you have the self, you know, self critiquing acumen to own that? That's where it's difficult. It hurts, man. Sometimes you gotta be like, hey man, yeah, I'm trash. Like, or what I just did is trash, or I just made it, that's trash. If you can't look at yourself and say, yo, I'm sucking right now, as an individual, you're not fit to be in a relationship, because you can't be honest with yourself.
Yeah, that's 99.9% of human beings on this earth should not be in a relationship.
Venetia, I don't condone.
They're too traumatized, they're too lost, they're too angry and fearful. It's just we don't know how to communicate with each other from a place of love, even in the space of fear. And you're gonna deal with fear when you're in relationships. Like, it's just like, if you don't know how to drive in the water, and you living in Florida, like, it's gonna rain every day. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna rain every day. If you don't know how to drive in the water, you're just gonna get in an accident, and that's what you're gonna do. So learn how to drive in the water first before you start engaging in these relationships. Y'all don't like it.
Venetia,
Most of y'all should not be in a relationship. Period.
I'm not saying that men should lie, Venetia. I'm saying I just understand why they do, because women don't want the truth. If we told women the
I would
truth,
say regardless, Hammer. Like, come on. Regardless of that,
you gonna lie about a kid though?
It's bet.
No. I said
that they don't want to hear.
Not
Okay,
you.
stop.
I'm just saying because some of them lie.
No. I already said,
bro, hold
I
on.
already said that men should not lie. That was my first statement. But behind that, I'm saying I understand why they do.
Oh,
there's a reason. Women cannot. You don't want to know the truth. If I walk up to you and say, "Oh, I want to have sex," guy gonna get any girls? If I say, "Oh, I'm not trying to get married. I just, I got my wife right here. I just want you to." You gonna get any girls? No. You gotta be strategic with that shit, man.
Elon Musk does it.
You gotta be strategic with that shit. Otherwise, he would not get any women. If a guy, if I come to you, if a man come to you, no money. He live at home with his mom. He playing video games. He's like, "Oh, what's up, girl? Hey, what's up? You gonna date me? What you gonna do? You gonna date him?"
Who, me?
Yeah.
No,
he play video games at home with his mom. He eat popcorn. He fat. That's all he do all day. He ain't got no job. You gonna
Why
date
he gotta be fat? Why he can't be?
You gonna date him?
And cute.
You gonna date him? No, you're not.
It depends on what.
Going to date him. So
It depends on what I'm looking for. It depends on what I'm looking for.
I would say this, VC writer. I would say this, what people fail to realize about relationships, right? And I like to say this: we are animals in the animal kingdom, right? We are animals in the animal kingdom. It is a game. So deception is part of the game. You understand? Peacock strutting his feathers.
You don't have to be, but
like
we make it that way.
taking on what is that? What is that? The mocking, not the mocking. I think is the what bird is that, Andrew? That that takes that lays its egg in the other bird's nest.
It's not I know what you're talking about, right? It lays its bread and the chick hatches before the other ones and pushes them out.
It's a cuckoo. The cuckoo, the chicken hatches.
Pushes them out.
And then it kicks the other birds out of the house, right?
And
These
gets
are
raised.
all the things that have been at play since the very beginning.
Biology.
Time. Men have become better liars. Women have been becoming better lie detectors. The fact of the matter is, I tell girls this all the time. You know, when you met Buddy, something was off, but you look past it because you weren't being objective. You had these little that dopamine and serotonin in your body, and you started to see the things that you wanted to see. Once all those hormones begin to fade, you start seeing the socks on the floor. You start seeing the beard clippings in the sink. They were always there. You just didn't care, right? Now, again, I don't agree if a man has, I got somebody at the bottom of the screen. I don't agree. Tim here. I don't agree. What's up, Tim? I don't agree.
What's up? What's good?
Chilling. I don't agree that I think like I've seen Collins back when we were in college. I'll never forget. I'm going off subject a little, but we was in this Astro van. It was crazy looking. And in his Bronco, it was just Collins had the craziest cars, but he didn't care. I remember we were on 95 or something, and we was not 95.
It was 121st, like that.
Yeah. And some fine behind girls in this nice behind car pulled up right by the van. They pulled up right by the van. I'm in the passenger side. Collins rolls down this creaky ass window and begins to holler at them. I'm like, yo, Collins, we ain't about to get these girls. And he got the girls.
Yeah.
Right? And so
but he was being true to himself.
Yeah. Some men, I tell people all the time, some men can be truthful and tell a girl, we just talking. I'm gonna talk to other chicks. I don't care. You're not gonna talk to other chicks. And some men can't. And the men that can't, they become deceptive. They have to figure out a way to get the girl. No problem. Let me get to these. Hold on. Tim. Okay, go ahead, Bo. Go ahead. Do you think?
Okay.
Bro, you're muted.
Why they keep muted?
Every time you need to get Comcast, Bo. You need to get Comcast.
Hey,
playing with the AT&T.
What does
Bro,
she have?
We gonna start calling
I don't know.
Fraggy.
Tim,
Right.
what
She
you
be good. She be good.
What's
Like I be
going
seeing
on?
her moving and everything until she talks.
Once she start
man.
talking, yeah,
Tim-
occupying too much bandwidth. Probably. I don't know.
I don't know. Let me see. Is Tim there? But we can get to these questions.
She's
Man.
still
Yeah, I'm here, bro. I'm here.
So answer the question real quick. At the beginning of the show, we asked, do you bring past trauma into a new relationship? Like, have you been in a relationship where you brought some past things into that new relationship, or have you been in a relationship where that person brought their past experience into your relationship, and how did it turn out?
Been a part of both of them.
It's inevitable.
Hello, can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, we hear you.
Can anybody hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, bro. I'm on the road, man. So if y'all hear me, I understand. But
Oh man, you fragging out too. He fragging out.
Got him too.
Yo, man, you gotta have that time of relationship and stuff where you can actually sit there and work on you, figure out what's wrong with you, what you attract, and then that way you don't bring that to the next thing, because you can't punish the new person for something the old person did. So that part I had to learn. I mean, you still kind of, you just can't.
Mad Max, man.
You went back out. We gotta mute you. You went back out. We gotta mute you. You went back out. Let me get to this real quick, because Delicia, I think I started something with Delicia because she mad now. She mad. Men liars because they are liars and deceptive. Don't blame it on women because y'all dogs. Listen,
I knew this was going to turn into this.
I know it did. But we're gonna,
we're
not listen, guys. What we're not gonna do. Listen, yes, men are liars, women are liars. Everybody lies.
Exactly.
My only thing is, like I said, my only thing is women lie better. That's actually a compliment. You guys lie better. First of all, if you understand, women read body language better than men. It's a natural thing. It's okay.
Because
I won't.
Because they're more
socially adept.
better.
I just think they're better at appealing to our ego. They know what buttons, what to say. It's not even a matter of that. They just know what to say.
Women are more socially adept. They turn 14 and they get all this attention. And in order for men mostly to get attention, you guys have some kind of status, either in high school or even in life, period. But from 14 years old, women get all kind of
unwanted, wanted, unwanted.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I do
the
believe
problem. Y'all keep saying women. It's not every woman. It's not all women.
Well,
there's some women that
on average.
I'm talking in general.
And on average,
no, not even in general. There's a lot of girls that get bullied, get acne problems and everything at 14 and 15
let me help. Let me help get some clarity. What he's saying is, based on a maturity scale, let's just do it straight biology. Women physically mature faster. Okay. All right. Now, we men are visual. Okay. You can have when we're growing up, we had a 13, 14-year-old girl with all the hormones or whatever they're consuming. They're going to get attention from men that are 16, 17, 8. That's all he's saying. That they have an advantage.
But I'm telling you, not every 14-year-old girl got a body developed like that.
But on average,
not every girl get attention. Like there's girls that are nice looking, but they.
You know what? Wait, let me get. Okay, that's untrue.
On average, I'm saying it's a fact. It's a fact. They're more likely to get attention. A male at 14, he's not going to get the attention.
All right, where we at? I am lost, so therefore everybody's muted. We got to get back to the thing at hand because we're all over the place. All right, so let's get to the comments because my panel is acting crazy. At one point, at one point, do it become unfair for a partner to deal with past trauma? Because a lot of people carry their past problems and relationships to the new person. I'm just going to say something very short and quick. If you're in a relationship and their trauma is drastically affecting not only the relationship, but your mental health, your spiritual health, your well-being, then it's time for you to part ways, right? And seek help. If you can't do it with each other, the best thing to do is separate from each other. I said this early in the show. Like, again, people have to learn how to fall in love with themselves first. Love yourself unconditionally. So then when you go into a new relationship, you know how to love that person. Don't bring in all this crazy. What, Bo? What? Because you acting out. What? Unmute yourself. What you got to say?
He's frozen right now.
Nah, she was acting crazy down there.
No, I was explaining to my daughter that, I'm feeling some trauma right now in this conversation because y'all.
Guess what? Then you can get muted then. How about that? Feel that trauma. Feel that trauma right there. Feel that trauma.
I'm the big sister. You gonna feel my trauma.
Bomika.
No, stop, Hammer, stop. What I'm saying is, when y'all make statements like most girls and all that stuff like that, it's not. The stuff that's not true.
We need you to stop getting emotionally charged off of that. We're past that.
Wait. Let me just say one thing. Bomika, everybody wasn't born in 1960 like you. We are in a modern world. We are in a technological world.
You're not gonna talk about my sister like that. You're muted too.
Bro, this man said 1960, bro. Like,
you're not gonna talk about my sister like that.
Listen,
all right, let's get back to the comment. Let me get so y'all admitting to being trash.
Hold on, Jamari. Let me address.
Go ahead, Collins. Go ahead.
I wanted to address that question, right, from a counseling perspective. For every individual, it might be a little bit different because the patience level that one person has might be a lot more than the other person. So for every individual, you got to ask yourself authentically, like, what is it? Like, how much is too much for me?
Yes.
Right. You got to, because for someone, they might be like, yeah, listen, I have this amount of space for BS that I didn't do. Right. Another person might have a higher capacity. Like, okay, I can be more understanding. I can have more abilities to deal with whatever it is. I'm more like that. I have a higher level of, okay, let's first identify this is not me. You've had this problem with other men before you got to me. So let's deal with that from a perspective of you dealing with whatever's going on, not me having to change my behavior to make you feel better about a certain situation that you're projecting onto me. So you got to ask yourself authentically, hey, how much is this enough? Like, how many more times can I deal with this situation? Like this person accusing me of cheating when I just came home a little bit late. Right. So like, if you know you're not cheating and you're talking to the person, listen, like you keep on accusing me of cheating, that doesn't work for me. Like, I'm not cheating on you. I haven't cheated on you. I don't plan on cheating on you. So if you continue this, then it's not going to work. Right. So Delicia Barnes says, y'all ain't have to do my girl Bo like that. Now with that being said, you got to measure yourself. You can like learn what authentic is versus honest, because people can honestly already be not ready for relationships. I'm not taking nothing because of all the past that people have done to me, right? And that's not a place that you want to go, because that's not you. That person didn't do all those past things to you, and you don't want to project that onto your next person. So ask yourself authentically, hey, did I do something? Is there a place that I can take responsibility? Not blame, but responsibility, right? And then if there isn't, like, okay, this isn't me. This is that person. Then you communicate with them, and that's an authentic. You got to ask authentically: do I still want to be with this person? Because if you authentically want to be with this person, then it's one more time, and one more time, and one more time, and one more time, until you authentically don't want to be with that person, where it doesn't light you up, right? And if you want to learn more about that, again, these are like in-depth things that people can learn how to master and deal with. You can check the links in the description to get your own lessons on how to deal with these things.
All right. Good talk. All right. So let's go around the last bit of the panel. Everybody get to say their last piece on trauma that they've been into, or how because I know we got a few newlyweds on here. I know my boy Drew recently got married. Not recently. Drew, when you got married, like 3 years ago, 4 years ago? 3 years ago. And so Drew, I'll ask you this. Tim, I don't know if are you married in a relationship right now?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so then I'll go to you're so silly, Drew. Drew, so what did you, before you got married, what things that would you share with us that you had to deal with or you were ready to deal with when you got into your marriage? Unmute yourself, my guy. You know
Yeah.
what I'm
You're muted.
I got it. Wow. Realizing that the picture is bigger than you. I think that's one of the first things you got to realize. Realizing that you're coming in with your issues, they're coming in with theirs, and if there's not a meeting of the minds, you're not willing to compromise or at least help each other. That's the key for me. I think if you're not willing to work together and help each other, it's not going to go anywhere. Because there's gonna
Yeah.
be some days, man, where you're gonna be banging your head like, didn't we just go through this? You know,
Mhm.
you got to realize that one, everybody's growth is in at the same place, and two, there's some times where you fall short, but you got to be willing to pick each other up when you fall short. And that's the reality of it. If you know that you're with somebody that you can't work with, or they're not willing to grow and change, then it's not gonna work. I think for me, that's one of the things I had to realize early on, because when it's just you, man, you don't care. Like you've been on the where you just don't care, and there's a time when your fuse is short. When you don't care about people, your fuse and tolerance for them is so short.
Yeah.
You look at her and be like, okay, I already got what I wanted. What do I want? Oh, why are you here? You know, you have to change that mindset. It's no longer, you have to take an altruistic approach in your relationship. If you're not willing to give for them, then let them be. Huh?
I love the Lakers and Jamari.
Hey man, listen, bro. You know, I don't even look at this. I can't look at the screen because I know he's always doing something, though. I don't even.
Oh shoot, who did I get rid of? Did I get rid of
Bo.
him?
Bo.
Why you did that, man? Y'all,
No, I don't think
I
I
think
got
y'all
rid
got
of
it
her.
out for y'all got it
No,
out
no,
for Mo,
flag
man.
out.
Y'all stick.
Oh, she must have fragged out. She must have fragged out. Go ahead, Tim. Talk to us, Tim. Talk to us. We glad to have you here right now.
Yeah,
Man, first and foremost, man, I hate that I missed all this, bro. Like, I just got back on the road today, caught a flat tire, bro. The tire gave me hell. Anyway, I'm here now.
Well, we're glad that you're safe and well.
Yeah, yeah, dog. So, relationship wise, man, I in this current one I'm in right now, I'm trying to figure out, do I want to stay or not? And this the problem, that I take full responsibility on, if not full, but 80% of it, because there's a lot of things that I let slide trying to appease the other party instead of
Mm.
right.
being myself. You know what I'm saying? So like, I figure, the best way to be is authentic yourself, because you don't have to pretend. That person is gonna love you regardless if you yourself. If not, then I ain't gotta try to shape shift into something else, to being something I
Yes.
cannot recognize. And so
Yes.
that's the part I'm with now, and that's the conversation that's between me and mines right now. It's like, yo, I'm not finna be a whipping post, one or two. I'm not finna. It ain't necessarily a whipping post. It's just the stuff that I would try to let slide. Say the name of peace. You know what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
don't want
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
argument. You can have that, but you got to stick somewhere, and you gotta be yourself. I ain't saying be rude, but if you know something ain't gonna go away, you say your piece about it. And
Yeah. Absolutely.
now,
That's
and the second thing is, I say it this way. A lot of times, people, just relationships in general, they ain't got to be a romantic relationship or a body-to-body relationship, but a friendship, brotherhood, or whatever. The way I heard a guy say it, you come in, instead of trying to get something from somebody, you share yourself with
4
somebody.
years.
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah,
4 years, not 3 years. Sorry.
love me. I heard you talk about it a little bit. If I love me enough, I can come in and share. Hey, this is what I have to offer, and then
Mm.
I offer this, and then you offer something to me, instead of me date or hook or get something from the other person. And
Yes.
if it's coming as a sharing type deal, sharing is better than, and that's it. That's me.
Can I say something? I
Go
forgot
ahead, go
it's
ahead.
not 3 years, 4. But see, tripping already. I think it's something he just said that kind of I'm talking to you directly. Like, don't let things build up, dog. Because one of two things is gonna happen if you continue to let stuff slide. It's kind of like a pipe. All right. If you don't alleviate the pressure in a pipe that's backed up,
Yeah.
you are
Yep.
going to explode. And when you
Yep.
explode,
Yep.
feelings get hurt. And sometimes you're gonna say something, dog, that is no coming back from. You know what I'm saying? So don't sell
Don't keep it
yourself short.
bottled up, man.
I'm not giving you, this is not relationship advice. Like I tell people with stocks and stuff, this is
No,
not
but you're
financial
right
advice.
though. You're
I'm
right.
just saying,
Yeah, you 100% right. I can't argue that, because that's some of the stuff that I noticed within myself after we had this break, or whatever. Man, I kind of noticed, okay, yeah, I could have did that better. I could have did that better. all right, this is what I'm gonna do now. If I do decide to go back to her, or if I in my new relationship, this is something I'm gonna do different. I'm not
Yeah.
finna sit here and just hold stuff in, and just like in the sake of just kind of keeping the house rolling. Nah, I can't do it no more, bro. Like the line is there. The line is there. The line is in the sand. This is what I got to say. That's that, and I go about my business from there. But like I said, I wish I would have grasped that concept a few years ago.
Yeah, it's tough.
Hey,
Yeah,
And
you
I'm
got
sorry,
you
it's
out.
we
dark, man.
get
I ain't turned nothing on, bro. Like I said, I don't pull it over to the side of the road because I wanted to hear it.
we get it when we get it,
Yeah,
man. That's one thing, me and Colin talk about this all the time. I think, you learn when you're supposed to learn it, man.
Yeah, man.
When you get it, that's when you're supposed to get it. And you got to go through a lot of stuff in life to make you the person who you are today. And all that stuff actually created you to be a better person for that person at that moment in time. So, don't ever what's that? Regret that. Okay, so I do have a question that popped up. So I want to answer this last question. It'll be a last question that we're going to answer from the chat. And it is it healthy to have trauma in a relationship and try to fix it while being in one? Of course, when giving that knowledge to your partner.
Can go both
All right,
ways.
let me answer that. It can be. It
Yeah.
usually won't be. But it can be if you realize is that okay, I got something that I want to work on. I'm gonna let you know, partner. Hey, I'm realizing something. Like there's something I gotta deal with. I'm gonna go, oh, hey, you can even ask them, hey, will you go with me to counseling? But regardless, you can say, hey, I'm gonna go to counseling. I'm gonna deal with this trauma that I have. It doesn't mean that if you realize you have trauma or you're in a space of trauma that you got to get out of the relationship in order to deal with the trauma. You can deal with the trauma at any point in time. It's just that if you have undealt with trauma, let's say you are single and you have undealt with it, deal with it now. Every now that you have is the chance to deal with your trauma in your past. If you wait and postpone it, so well, I'm gonna deal with it afterwards, like that's not going to be beneficial to you in the long run. Just like do it when you're aware of it. That's the best place. That's the best place and space to do it. So if you're in a relationship, go ahead, like go and get your counseling, man. Go and search and seek out the solutions and things like that. So yeah, it can be. It's just that if you got the trauma and you're about to go and start a relationship, I would say pause, deal with the trauma, and then go and engage in the relationship.
I think
Can't
sometimes
hear
they
you,
get.
Jamar.
Go ahead, Drew. Go ahead.
Oh, I said what he's saying. It's spot on, but you have to be in a relationship with somebody that's willing to listen and they're willing to help you improve, because it can go left, because you can be in that situation where your trauma is not being acknowledged, or it drives a wedge between you and that person, and things can go really left.
And
It
I
just
want to say this too, Drew. I don't want people to I wouldn't want this to happen to me in a relationship. Like, don't put the onus on me to help you with your trauma,
Right.
right? Because I'm dealing with my own stuff, and I ain't got time to be dealing with your stuff. So this is why, like I said, like get right. And a lot of young people do this, right? And we've all seen it when they get out of one relationship, then they hop into another relationship, and then hop into another relationship.
Oh, gosh.
And what is going on is you're just adding to your baggage, and eventually baggage claim is going to tell you got too much weight to get this
Overweight,
stuff playing.
and it's a cost.
And it's a cost,
It's a cost.
and it can cost you a lot more
than a
time,
relationship.
money, everything else. So I tell people again, and I always go back to this. And I discovered it. Like, I love myself. I love myself more than anybody in the world. I love myself more than I love my wife. I love myself more than I love my kids. I love myself more than anybody in the world. Who I choose first is me. And if I can choose me first, I'm more willing to choose them first, if that makes sense to you all, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I
then
love myself so much, I'm willing to give them all of it. You get what I'm saying?
right.
Yeah.
So that's why at the end of the day, I'm the worst person to talk to about trauma, because my first thing is I just say, get over it. Like, oh, this happened to you? All right, get over it, because you thinking about it now is going to do what today? Like, Herb and get over the crap. Why? Because I know you can get over it, because it's a mental thing that you're dealing with, right? But some people's process of getting over it takes more time. My process of getting over is like, okay, well, it happened, it's done. I'm ready to move forward, because me dwelling on it is not going to help me right now. So I'm like one of the worst people in the world. I'm very direct when I tell people about themselves. Collins in that area may be a little more patient than me, but
It's
I'm
paid
like,
to do that.
yeah, I'm like,
Yeah, and hey, it's just like
you got to
anything,
get over.
bro. Like everybody's not a mechanic. Don't try and take your car to your friend who plays basketball. Like
With a broke
that person might
jumper.
not be a mechanic. Your boyfriend, your husband, your wife, your girlfriend might not be a mechanic. Go to a mechanic. Like don't like they might not have the skills to be able to deal with all of that. But y'all can
Uh,
deal with it together. You can share it with them. But
can I say something with counseling though, man? You know it's stigmatized, and this is why I said earlier, if you're not honest and if you can't be true to yourself and realize you need help, that's why you have a lot of people walking around like that. Nobody wants to admit, or let me not say nobody. A lot of people don't want to admit I need help. I got professional help, because right away the stigma is, oh man, you crazy. That's just no. What you no. I'm not, and this is not coming for you. I'm just saying in general.
No. I understand.
Yeah, like it's and to me it's so stupid, because it's like if you need help, you need help.
Yeah. But go ahead, Bo. Before we close up, I want to make sure Bo and Hamilton get something in here. Go ahead, Bo.
To answer the question, I say it depends. Once again, it depends on the trauma. Everybody's different. Some people have trauma and don't even know that they have trauma. They lived in a certain household, things were done a certain way that aren't right, and that's just how they live. And to them, that's normal, and to the rest of us, like that's not normal. You know what I'm saying? Like no, that ain't. So it depends. It depends on the individuals that's in the relationship. But I feel like if you are with a partner or you yourself have trauma, you need to and you recognize it, then you like Drew said, you need to be honest with yourself and you need to be honest with your partner. These are my issues. Can you handle that? Or I just realized this about me. Can we talk about that? Communication is key to any relationship, whether it's trauma or no trauma. Communication is key. And you have to
Bo,
have the willing and the need to want help if you need help.
Bo. So
And
let me
that's
ask
it.
you a question. Bo, let me ask you a question though. What if you're in a relationship and you communicate more than your partner does? So what if you're open and honest and you're opening up that door of communication, right? But your partner doesn't fully open up or doesn't open up to express how they feel about the relationship. Because remember what you said earlier, you said you do a 6-month check, within a relationship, it's 6 months. Hey, how's everything going? Are you good? Are you feeling this relationship? But what if you're saying, yo, okay, so I'm feeling great about this relationship. I think this relationship is going somewhere. And we ask that person how they feel. They either, can express themselves, because there are people who can express themselves very eloquently, verbally, or they just won't open up. How would you handle that if you're in that type of relationship?
Well, number one, um, I'm a communicative being, so I like to communicate. So it's 9 times out of 10, I'm not really going to be in a relationship with somebody that doesn't know how to communicate. Just for myself, I'm not comfortable with that. I'm not comfortable with something with me always talking and another person not talking. But if I was, I would try to respect that person's space and respect that person's way of communicating. We all have different ways of communicating. So, mine is verbally. If you can't verbalize to me, I say, hey, you want to write it down? Write it down, and I can read it, and then I can take that in, and then we can go back and forth that way. If just a person that doesn't like to show emotions or something like that, in that aspect, I'm hitting you with questions. Is this something that's just not happen? And if it's not, then that means I need to whether I want to continue this relationship or not. So that's kind of how I handle that situation. I like communication. If you're not going to communicate, I walk away. If that's something that's going to be a problem or not easy, and it might sound harsh and mean, but I'm a communicative person. I need that. I thrive on that.
Good. All right. Hamilton, what's going on? What's going on?
Yeah, man. I ain't really got much else to say. Jay Samaj music coming out. Check it out on Instagram at Jay Samaj Music. You can check me out on Facebook.
Blame
Hit
you.
me up, man. New music coming out soon.
You didn't even. You know what? You're muted. You're muted. You're muted. You're muted. All right, so guys, we've been in for an hour and 30 minutes. I think it's a pretty good discussion. What do you guys think? Pretty good discussion. I liked it. Good people in the comments. Let's give some shout outs. Let's give some shout outs to some people that were in the chat. We got Casey that was in here. C. Ryder, my wife, always holding it down. Delicia. We got Drew that was in there, and then he popped back up in here. That's what's up.
Dr. Pharma.
We got Cat, boy Mari, Dr. Pharma. I don't know where he at. He probably up here selling, being a drug dealer in a pharmacy.
Man, don't have the Fed show up at that man
Hold on.
with that crap, man.
Look at the comment he posted. While
Just my wife.
My wife. Not to pay your phone bill.
Hey, wait. And was he the one that said that he could trust his friend to do something, but he can't trust his wife to do it?
We ain't gonna put
him on the bus like that.
He said it himself. Get out of here.
Good chat. Hey, I appreciate everybody for being here. My guy Drew. We're gonna work on Drew. We're gonna work on getting some business platform. Drew right now is working on becoming expert option trader.
Yeah, well, bruh, listen, the amount of time that I realized I gotta put in, man, it's been a hustle or a hassle to find it, but I'm gonna get there. It's incremental gains, bruh. I can't stress that enough. If y'all ever get into that, please. I mean, I know some of you guys are already doing it, but like, if it's a skill you can perfect, bro, I've seen good days, I've seen some trash days, but if you learn that skill, man, it can be like a life changer.
So he's talking about investing in options. I'm done. I'm back. I'm trying
to convince him
products
to get
and
back in it
until we get this whole thing. So that's why, guys, you got to make sure you like, subscribe. If you in the chat right now, make sure you hit that like button. Please make sure you share this video.
I'm trying to get him to come back, man.
Hop on the panel for like 2 or 3 minutes, get some questions answered, or chip into the conversation. Again, we have Collins, a relationship guru. He dropped some gems, some nuggets in here for you guys. He's going to be doing a retreat sometime before the end of 2022. So go ahead and check that out. That will be in the description below. Again, Hamilton said he got some music dropping. Jay Shamaj, he did a promo, a snippet of his promo song he's got coming out. We got my sister Bo, Everything Frugal. Remember, you got to get to frugality to get to that wealthality. I just made it up, but hey, it just sounds good. Wealthality, that's my new word. I'm a wealthality.com that. But she does have Everything Frugal. Guys, live below your means to get to what? Live below your means to get to the mean. Okay, I'm gonna fix that up later. But check that out. That's in the description below. I appreciate everybody for coming on to the online cookout.
Live below your means to have the means.
There you go. Live below your means to have the means. Send me a friend request. What are you talking about, Dr. Farmer? You better be subscribed to the show too, because you be on the show. I better see your subscription on this doggone thing. Anyway, again, appreciate you guys. We're out.
All right.